We will see map today. So we have seen list and set, and I will just repeat what we discussed in list and set. What are the main differences between list and set? So list is an ordered collection, but set is not an ordered collection. Set is an unordered collection. List is a ordered collection. And what else? Element in list can be identified with index position, but we cannot identify a element using index position used in set. Duplicates are allowed or not in list? In list, duplicates are allowed, but in set, duplicates are not allowed. And what are the other differences we have in list and set? These are the main differences. Okay, if you list these differences, that is enough. These are the main differences, and we will see map now. So map is also a collection class which can hold group of elements. Okay, why we are going for collection classes? To hold group of elements. So basically we have arrays concept. Even though we have arrays concept, we use collection classes in Salesforce as we have few disadvantages with arrays. The main thing is dynamic memory allocation is not possible, and adding the elements in the middle of the operation is also at runtime is also not possible. Okay, so that is the reason we go for the collection classes, right? And increasing or decreasing the size cannot be possible, and memory allocation, efficient memory allocation is also not possible in arrays. Okay, right? So coming to the map is a key value pair. Map is a key and value. We have two values here. So far in set and list, we have not discussed about keys and values. Okay, because directly you can insert elements using your insert operator in list and set. But here in map you will have keys and values. You have key value pair. Okay, so each element in map contains a key and a value. Each and every element in map contains a key and a value. Key is something like index. You can say index, but index will be in order, starting from 0 to whatever the size of the list. But here it is, you can define the key. Using a particular key, you can store a value at that key position. Okay, and here also dynamic memory allocation is possible. It supports dynamic memory allocation. We can add one or more elements, and always remember key should be a unique value. Index is a unique value, right? In the same way, key should be a unique value in map. Sorry, key should be unique, and value can be duplicated. Key should be unique and value can be duplicated. So map is a key and values collection. Okay, so key must be a unique value. Map value can be duplicated. Okay, it supports dynamic memory allocation, and we can add one or more elements using map. So we will see the syntax for map now. The syntax for map is So this is the syntax for map. Map key comma value, write your map name, and new will assign the memory and map key value. Okay, this is very similar to your list, but list will not have key. You can directly define your list and the data type and list name, new list data type. Okay, that is how you define your list, but here you will have both key and value pairs. Okay, so the example I can say map some string comma string, say string map. This can be anything, you can define your own name. String comma string. Okay, alright. So this is the data type of your keys, and this is the data type of your values. Okay, or else in real time how you can use this one is map id comma account. Okay, acc map is equal to new map id comma account. Okay, you can take like this also. And we discussed about the types of elements that collection classes allowed. What types of elements are allowed? User defined type, primitive data types, and collection types also. What is the collection type? We have seen one example where you have added list to a set. Using add all, you have added names. What is this names? Names is nothing but names is a list. Okay, names is a list, that is a collection type, and that names is added to set here. All the list elements are added to the set here. Okay, here. So collection type, this is collection type, this is a list. Names is a object name for a list. Okay, see here, names, I defined names here, and I defined a list, and the list name is names, and I added some names here, and the total elements of the list are added to the set here using add all method, right? In the same way, you can add your list elements to your map. Okay, so let me explain that. Map, if you are taking some list of elements, you can say list account. If you are dealing with multiple accounts, you can take map id comma list account, say map account is equal to new map id comma list account. Okay, so these are the some of the examples of map. We can use map in this manner. So what are the different methods that are supported by map? The first one is put. We will see one and each and every method practically. So Right. So let me list out the different methods that are supported by map. First one is put. If you want to put an element in a key value, so you should not use index here. Index is there in the list only. Okay. So at a particular key, if you want to put some value, you can use put, and the other method is size. So this is common for all collection classes, and you can use a set. Okay, and you can use get. You can use get, and you have to pass the key value here. Okay, to get an element at that key. Okay, you can use remove and is empty. Okay, so these are the some of the methods that are supported by map. We will see one by one. So let me define a map of two string types, map string comma string, map names is equal to new map string comma string. This is a basic example. I don't use this example in real time, but you can understand it better. Okay. So now I want to add elements to the map. I defined map and I want to check the size of the map. Then how you can do that? You can use the size function. Okay. So let me print the size. System.debug the size of the map is. So what I have to write here, map names dot size. Zero. And here I want to show you isEmpty method, because we have not discussed isEmpty in list and set. Okay, so you can use isEmpty in list and set also. Now how we can use isEmpty? If map names dot isEmpty, okay, if the collection class is empty, the map has no elements. If the collection class is empty, then it has to print this statement. We'll see. What is the error? So isEmpty is a method, that's why we have to use the parenthesis. Okay, the map has no elements, so it returned true because it has no elements here. That is the reason it returned true. So there is one more way of using this one. If map names dot size greater than 0, I used size function and if size is greater than 0, I want to print. Okay, we will check this one also. You can use either way, both are same. Because so it has to print the other one also, right? Okay, so we got only one. The reason is what I have written, the condition here is if size is greater than 0, but size is 0 only, it is not greater than 0. That is the reason we have, we got this one only one time, if size is equal to 0. Why I used double equal to? Any idea? Single is equal to is used to assign a value. Is equal to is a assignment operator. If you use double equal to, that is a comparator. It compares this value and this value. If that is same, then the statements here will be executed. It has printed the value here two times because the condition I have written here is if the size is equal to 0, print the statement again. Okay, so this is how you can use these two, right? Because in real time what you will be doing is if you want to update some records, so you will be writing a query to get the list of records, and what you will be doing, you will have this condition. Okay, so if map names dot is empty, okay, if I want to have a condition saying that if that is not empty, that means you have to use not operator here. See, this one is giving me a true value whenever the list or set or map, whatever the collection class you are using. Okay, if that is empty, you will be using this. What I want to have is if that is not empty. Okay, because I will be having a list of values, a group of values in list or set or map. Okay, I want to update those values. Then what I can do, I can write a query and I can get the values. Okay, and I want to check whether the collection is empty or not, then only I want to update. For that you can have this condition. Okay, but it is returning true if it is empty. Okay, so you can use not here. That means if that is not empty, if that is not empty. Okay, if you don't have this, it returns true whenever the collection is empty. It, if you have this not operator, this is not operator. Okay, now I will add a element here to the map and you can see that how we can add elements. Any idea of adding elements to the map? So we don't have add operator here. In list we have add, in set also we have add, but here we don't have add. So what I will do is, before this if statement, I will write one more statement. Map names dot put. We have put here. Okay, so because two strings, right? Here it is string and string. Key must be a string, value must be a string, separated with comma. So this is not a real-time example, but you can understand better. Now the map is not empty. Okay, let me execute. So I don't want this, or else I will take like this. If map size is greater than 0, now the collection class size is greater than 0. Okay, now this value printed twice. This one printed here and here. Okay, it printed twice. If you say is equal to 0, then the map size is not 0, it will be printed only once. Okay, right. So this is how you can use map. And let me add some more elements. So what is the condition? What is the characteristic of map? We have one characteristic saying that value can be duplicated but key cannot be duplicated. Okay, right. So we will see. Okay, so how you can print the key set? Only keys I want to print. We will see how we can do that. System.debug. The keys are these are all the keys. The first ones, yellow, red, orange. The colors are the keys. How you can print any idea? Map names dot. We have a function called key set. So map is really very important. Map and list, we use these two regularly. Map we may be using very few times, but list is really very important. Okay, so these are the keys. And if you want to print the values, this is the method to print the values. Okay, execute. Values are also printed. Right. So I will add some more values. Map names dot put black. Grapes. So which one is duplicated here? Value is duplicated, and I will see whether it is acceptable or not. So you should have your duplicate values, right? So let me write these two statements here. Okay. I will see whether this is accepted or not. Grapes has to be printed twice in the values. Okay, it is acceptable. Value can be duplicated, but key cannot be duplicated. So you can see the group grapes 2 times. So values can be duplicated. Now I will check key can be duplicated or not. So to check all these things, these examples are really good. If I take real-time examples, I cannot check all these things. So here yellow is here, yellow is here. This is keys. Keys cannot be duplicated, but I am trying to put banana in place of key here, in place of yellow here, yellow key, and here also at yellow key I want to place mangoes. Let's see which one will be there in the result. It will be overridden. First banana is there, next mangoes is there. Okay, so mangoes will be replacing bananas. Okay, so mangoes is replaced. Bananas are replaced with mangoes. See here, in the first place, in place of yellow, banana is there. But here I replaced banana with mangoes. That is the reason mangoes printed here. Okay, that means keys cannot be duplicated. Okay, so if you are trying to duplicate, it will override. You can see in place of I will write test. So these mangoes will also be overridden by test. Now you can see if I execute this, okay, so here it is test now, right? So you cannot duplicate, you cannot have duplicate keys. Okay, right. So let me see how I can use get here. System.debug the value at key red is what I have to write, map names dot get and pass the what you have to pass, the key you have to pass. What is the key? Key is a string, so use quotations and write red here. Okay, so the value at key red is apples, that is printed, right? So I want to use enhanced for loop here. We have seen enhanced for loop. Okay, so using this enhanced for loop, I want to print all the keys and values. How I can do that? For so it is a type of string. Okay, it is a string type. Okay, for string, any idea? So first you have to take the collections. Okay, first you have to take the collection. So what collection? Keys collection you have to take, right? So tell me, we have seen already examples of writing enhanced for loop. So take a string, some type str. Okay, so where are my elements? In keys. Okay, each key will have a separate element, right? So for that, first you have to take all the values of keys. How you can take all key values? Keys cannot be duplicated, right? So that is the reason I will use set string all keys is equal to new set string. Okay, so instead of writing this, directly I will take all keys is equal to map names dot key set. I will take this. Instead of writing two lines, you can get this one in single line. Map names dot key set. See, here all the keys are printed. Okay, this is the one. This is the output for map names dot key set. Okay, now I am defining a variable of type string and variable of type set, and I am adding all the keys here. Okay, now all keys are there in the all keys variable. Okay, so for string str in all keys, now all the values are there in this variable all keys. Okay, so what I want to do, print system.debug. So first the value at key str is, I want to print the name of the value name here. How I can print? Map names dot get, and what I have to write here, str. Excuse me. Okay, so here I have taken a variable of type string. Okay, for each and every string present in this keyword all keys, for each and every string present in this all keys, I want to execute this statement. Okay, so what statement? The value at a key. So where the key is there now, str. Okay, so this all keys will have group of values. Okay, for each and every value I defined a variable str. For each and every value which is there in all keys, I am defining a variable here. So I am writing this variable here. Now this variable holds only one value because it is a for loop. For each and every iteration it will have one value. Okay, so actually how it is going to be, a for loop is something like for I is equal to 0, I less than size, I plus plus. So we are replacing this for loop with this enhanced for loop. Okay, so same, both are same, but this is an enhanced for loop. You don't need to write all the conditions here because I don't know the size. Okay, this is a dynamic operation, it is not a static operation. So during dynamic, you may be adding values and you may be removing the values, and always you cannot define size. You can define size, but again you have to use the size function here. So it takes time, right? It takes some computation time. So enhanced for loop is more faster than this normal for loop. Okay, it is now having the size function and the increment function, but it do not have anything. What it is saying is for each and every value str which is there in all keys. Okay, so in real time you will be using something like this for account ACC in LST ACC. So that means I will write the statement separately. You may be confused. See, in real time I will have a list account lst is equal to new list account. I am taking a list of type account. It accepts apex type. It is a apex type now. The list is apex type. Okay, so I got some values in the list, or else you can write this. A sample query I will write select id comma name from account. I will limit the values, limit to 10. Okay, this is the real-time example for each and every account ACC. Now where are my account values? In list. For each and every account present in the list. So I will read this statement like this. So it may be difficult to read the statement here because that is not a real-time example, forget about it. But in real time, for each and every account, I am defining a variable ACC for each and every account present in the list LST. What I want to do, print the name, system.debug, the name of the account is, okay, acc.name. Let's see. Spelling mistake. Where? Line 163. Okay, name will be printed in separate lines because I used for loop. Okay, see here the name of the account and the query result. This is the query result. Let me use debug only. Name of the account, 10 accounts are printed because I used limit 10. Okay, for each and every account. How you will read this enhanced for loop? For each and every account present in the list. Here I got the values in this variable. For each and every account list, do this one. Whatever the statements you write in the for loop, the statements will be executed. Okay, so this is how you use the enhanced for loop in real time. Here I am writing a enhanced for loop. Okay, so it is commented. If I am using double slashes means forward slashes means that is commented. So for string str, which is present in all keys, okay, for each and every key, that means for each and every key here, enter this loop. Okay, so the key, the value at a key. So what is, if you want to print the key here, you have to use this variable str is map names dot get. How you can get? By using the key value you can get, because we have seen we used get function here. Okay, right, so it is a string, right? But anyway, it is a variable, so you don't need to use quotations. It is a user defined variable. Okay, here it is not a variable, it is a value. That is why you used a string here, but you don't need to use quotations here. Right, so let me execute. So each and every value should be printed in separate lines here. Let me check. Okay, no errors. See here, The value at key red is apples. The value at key yellow is test. Grapes. Okay, let me see. I will add a space here. Okay, so that I can see it clearly. Plus is a concatenation operator. So here concatenation is done. Right, it is clear now. We got the space. The value at key red, the value at key yellow, the value at key red. This is a different debug statement. It is not the enhanced for loop statement. These are the enhanced for loop statements. Okay. Right. This is how you can use your enhanced for loop in the maps. Any questions? Okay. So how we can use remove function? How we can use remove function we will see. So here in place of red we have apples, right? So what I will do now is map names dot remove. Map names dot remove. I will pass the key. Okay, I will pass the key. Now again I will print the keys and values, or else yeah, anyway you have the enhanced for loop here, right? So here you cannot see red, but here you can see red, because before removing red I have written these statements. After removing red I have written these statements. Okay, so you cannot see red here. We will see that. Right, so here you have the remove function. Map names variable does not exist. Map names at column 40, line 134, line 134. Okay, so I have to take this line also. Okay, here it is removed. Okay, it will be removed here, and after removing we are printing the values, keys and values again. So go to debug only, then you can see. So yeah, before removing there is red. This value is before removing. See here. See, system.debug, the value at key red is. The value at key red is. Okay, this is before removing, and after removing again we are printing all the values, but there is no red. Okay, there is no red after removing. So red is removed. And any other functions we have? We have a clear function to clear all the values. Okay, so map names dot clear. Now all the values will be removed from the map. Okay, this is the clear function here. So you won't get any any statements here because it is empty and it won't print any values. Okay, so it stopped here itself. This is a debug statement before we used clear function. If you want to check the value at key rate is, this is a statement that is printed. Okay, this debug statement is printed here, and after this debug statement we used clear function. Okay, so after this there are no values because all the values are removed. And any other functions? Yeah, these are the important functions. Mostly we will be using these functions only in real time. Okay, so now we will see a real time example using map. This is also not very high standard, a moderate standard example, but it is really easy to understand. Okay, so what is the syntax of the map? Let me define the syntax here. Map key is a unique value. So what is unique here in account? ID is unique. If you have any unique field in your account, you can use that also. Okay, so map ID comma account. ACC map is equal to new map ID comma account. Okay, I want to define a query here itself. Instead of writing a separate line, I can write a query here itself. Select ID comma name. So I am passing values to the map here. Name. Instead of adding values, I am fetching the account records. ID comma name from account limit 5. Okay, if you want to get any specific account, you can modify your query. Okay, so your account records are now there in the ACC map. IDs are there in key set and the values are there in values function. Okay, so we will print the IDs. System.debug the IDs of the accounts are. What you have to write? ACC map dot key set. Let me check whether it works or not. It's been very long that I used map. Okay, right, all the IDs are printed. Okay, this is a account ID. If you want to check, you can check. How you can use the ID to get the record information? You can go to any page and here you can copy it, accessing a record using ID. Okay, this is the record. Okay, these are all the IDs. And how many printed here? 5, because I used limit 5. Okay, right, so you got your key set. Let me see how the values are going to print. system dot debug. The values are acc map dot values. I don't use this way because I use enhanced for loop. It is not recommended way, but I want to show you. Okay, all the values, id name, id name, id name, all the values are printed for 5 records. Okay, so why only id name printed? Because we have written a query for id and name only. Okay, if you want rating, you can print rating also. Now you can see rating also. Here only id comma name is there, right? If you want to see any other field information, you can see that also. Rating code. There is no rating, that is why it is not showing it here. Okay, for this record also there is no rating. If you want to check whether it is having rating or not, see. Account, id, name, rating, account. id is there, name is there, but no rating is there. Okay, I will check this record. Whether we have rating or not, we will come to know here. Do we have rating? We don't have rating. That is why it is not printed. What is the record name? United Oil and Gas, UK. United Oil and Gas. Okay. As there is no rating, the rating value is not printed. It is having rating here. Rating hot. So I can filter the query saying that where rating not equal to null. I can again modify the query. So this is how you have to, we have to check everything. From account where rating not equal to null. Okay, null or empty quotes, we will see. I guess it is empty quotes. Yeah, that is fine. Rating not equal to null means it should have some rating. Rating is printed, rating is printed, rating printed. Okay, rating. So this is how you can write a query and print the values. Now I will use enhanced for loop. Now you tell me how I can use enhanced for loop. For it is a account, right? ACC. How I can print?
Account map.
Yeah, ACC map. So, but ACC map contains both, keys and values. Okay, but do you think this is correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, dot values, write dot values, because keys is id. This is a data type. Id is a data type and your values are of account types. Keys is of id types and values are of account types. Okay, I used account here. For each and every account acc, you can write acc map and you have to also write the values, because this is keys and this is values. Okay,
Yeah.
right. Now system dot debug, the name of the acc dot name. So for each and every value which is present in acc map dot values, so account values are there, account details are there in the acc map dot values. Okay, so here you have already seen this example, right? So if you see here in the output screen, see, it is having only IDs because it is the key set, and values in the second statement I printed values, so it is having the account details. Now how I can access the name here from this statement is I have to use acc map dot values. Okay, so for each and every account I am defining a variable acc here for each and every account present in acc map dot values, right? Now I will execute this so that you can see the name of the account in separate lines. Because it is a for loop, it will be repetitive. Okay, so this is how you can use your map in real time. Okay, so you can get some specific records using the query, and if you want to do some update or if you want to do some deletion, something, whatever you want to do, you can do. Any questions?
శ్రీను మీరు ఎపెక్స్ క్లాసెస్ యూజ్ చేసి కూడా కోడింగ్ చెప్తారా?
సో ఇదంతా జస్ట్ ఇదే సేమ్ క్లాస్లో రాయొచ్చు. ఏంటంటే అక్కడ క్లాస్ని ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయాలంటే మళ్ళీ క్లాస్ని కాల్ చేయాలి, సేమ్ మళ్ళీ ఎనానిమస్ విండోలో క్లాస్ కాల్ చేయాలి. సో ద సేమ్ థింగ్ కెన్ బి రిటన్ ఇన్ ఏ క్లాస్. ఐ విల్ షో యూ. I will show you that straight away. So I want to have this as a class. In this class I will define a method. You should not write the coding inside the class. You can define variables, but you cannot write all these statements inside a class. You have to define a method. Public void map accounts. Okay, so these errors not related to this class. If I save, then I will get the errors. So this is the class. Let me close all these. I don't want this test class. Okay, so there are no errors. Right. Okay, so I have defined a map inside a method. You have to follow the indentation. That is very important. Right, I defined a class. Inside a class I defined a method, and in this method I have written all the logic. Okay, and see here I did some modifications, so you can see a star mark. That is not saved. That means that is not saved. Control S, saving. Once it is saved, the star mark will be removed. Now the class is saved. If you want to see that class here, you can see that class. So whatever I am telling, everything you can write in a class. See, this is a class. Okay, this is the class we have written in developer console. Right. So now you have to call the class. If you want to test the results, you have to call it from somewhere. You can call a class inside another class or inside a trigger. It is up to you. Okay. But for now, I want to call the class from the anonymous window. How I can do that, I will show you. Just create instance for the class. First create instance of the class, or else you can also call this one as object. So this is a class name. Create object for the class or instance for the class. Map class, give your name, map instance, or else map obj is equal to new map class. Class instance is created. Now I have to call the method. How I can call the method? Your object name dot your method name. If you execute these two statements, then instance will be created here for the class, and for that class the method will be executed. Okay, so that you can see in the logs. Okay, this is 54. Okay, 54. This is the current log. Now you can see the same. Okay, right. What you have written in the class? You can see here. What you have written? First, we have created a map and you are writing a query to get the account records. After that, you have two debug statements to print keys and to print values. After that, you have one more debug statement to print name in separate lines. So what is the output that is printed? First, the keys are printed, details are printed, whatever the details you have written in the class. Okay, the values means ID, name, rating. Okay, these values are printed here, and after that each and every account name is printed in separate lines. So I will show you the difference. Now I want to see the rating also in separate line. Rating. How I can access rating? Rating. Okay, I will save the class. There is one error. Variable does not exist ACC. Now tell me the error here. I already discussed about this.
Okay.
We discussed about this. I mean, I stressed this statement especially, and I have shown you with examples. I paid some special attention for this type of error. If that is a conditional loop, and if your conditional loop is having only one statement, you don't need to use curly braces. But it is having more than one statement, you have to use the curly braces. See, you define your account ACC variable here. You define your ACC variable here. Okay, so this statement, this ACC variable, you can write it in the next immediate line. If you are not using braces, you can use it in the next immediate line. But in one more statement, I am using ACC. Now the compiler is saying variable does not exist. That means if you don't use curly braces, you can use only one statement in your for loop. If you are writing one more statement, you have to use curly braces. If you use curly braces, then this ACC variable can be accessed here also. Okay, so got it? So now that error is gone. Okay, in any conditional loop, if you are using only one statement, you don't need to use braces. Okay, but if you have multiple lines, then you have to use braces. Right, now I will execute the same class, and in separate lines I want to print the rating also. Okay, so I am executing the class here. This is the execution part. This may be executed from the trigger also, from any other class. It is up to you. Go to logs. This is the recent one. Debug only. See the rating. Name is printed and rating is also printed. Name, rating, name, rating. Okay. This is how, I mean, whatever I am telling in the anonymous window, the same thing you can write in the class and you can execute it from the anonymous window. Okay. So all the coding, so you can try all these examples by writing a class and call the class from the anonymous window. Even this array also, array part also you can write it in a class and call the class from the anonymous window. All these things can be called from the anonymous window. Okay, give it a try. Any questions? Right, so we'll see, we'll meet again at 8:30 and we will discuss the queries part. Okay, so with this example we finish the collection classes. Okay, we will see queries in the next class. Okay, thank you.
శ్రీను ఇది క్లాస్ రికార్డ్ చేసింది షేర్ చేస్తారా?
ఇది రికార్డ్ చేశాను, షేర్ చేస్తానండి.
అదే సతీష్ గారికి